heard you are not well. How are you, sir?
Now I am better, ma'am. Perfectly fine, fit and fine.
Okay.
Some 60 participants are there. Shall we wait for 1 more minute and start?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, it will. Yes, ma'am. Okay, Nutana, we can start.
Ma'am?
Yeah,
Yes,
we
ma'am.
can start.
Yes, ma'am. A very good evening to all the participants present here. I cordially welcome you all to this webinar series on entrepreneurship development, which is organized by our college, Padma Shri Institute of Management and Sciences, Bengaluru. Entrepreneurs, they play a significant role in economic development of a country. They promote the prosperity of a nation by their innovation and dynamic leadership skills. They create wealth, they open up employment opportunities and foster the other segments. In this web series, we'll be learning more about this. Now, I'm privileged to introduce today's resource person, Dr. Parag Vilas Nayak, sir. He's currently the principal technologist at ITC Life Science and Technology Center, ITC Limited, Bengaluru. He has completed his PhD in chemical technology. He has worked for several corporate organizations such as Godrej, Piramal Healthcare, EID Pari. Dr. Parag sir has several research publications and patents to his credit. He mentors startup companies across India and abroad. Now, I request Dr. Parag sir to kindly present his talk on entrepreneurship and business opportunities. Over to you, sir.
Good evening. Thank you so much, Nutana. Did I
Yes,
pronounce your
sir.
name?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
so
Correct, sir.
Dr. J. Nutana Grace.
Yes, sir. So
good
you
evening.
can share your slide. Yes, sir.
I'll do that in a
Yes.
moment.
Yes, sir.
So good evening to all the participants, ladies, gentlemen, dignitaries who are there. I acknowledge your graceful presence in this webinar. Now, I won't be very formal when I present these few slides, because my whole objective is to, give you a very different perspective. So Dr. Nutana, can you see my slides? Are they visible? Hello?
Yeah, yes, sir, we can.
Yes, sir. It is visible, sir.
Okay. So I have given a very meaningful title to this presentation, short presentation, which is on 14th of February, which is by and large the Valentine's Day. So first of all, happy Valentine's Day to all of you. I'll not take much time of yours because I know some of you or most of you might be heading for some sort of celebrations or, evening dinner with your loved ones. So I don't want to hold you for that. But I have a very noble objective when I am going to speak in this particular series of webinars. The title itself tells you that startups at Padma Shri, or PIMS as we call it, very well known as PIMS. So my objective of this particular presentation is that all the students who are, whatever year of their curriculum they may be in Padma Shri, each one of you, either individually or as a group of 4, 5, 6, as you make it, should be forming startups. Now, why is this objective? Because as Dr. Nutana said, that startups basically catalyze economy of a particular province, of a particular state, or of a particular country. So we being in the state of Karnataka, our first objective should be Swarna Karnataka. We should be making this state of gold, because the moment you strengthen your state, the moment you strengthen your own province, your own districts, your own villages, your own cities, your own colleges and institutes, you will eventually strengthen the country. So the whole objective is all of you should have an experience of how to constitute a business, how to form a new business, and thereby have a best learning experience. I must tell you that if some of you are aspiring to join for management degrees, which are typically MBAs or even beyond, or doctorate in management, in the topmost management colleges across the world, say for example, in the United States, we call it Ivy League colleges. Say for example, if you want to join at Kellogg's Institute or Wharton Business School or institutes like that, they essentially look for startup experience with the students who want to join. So I'm not saying for the sake of making business, I am so sorry for the ring. So I am not saying that for the sake of learning a business and also for strengthening economy, for making your own CVs, for making your own biodatas worthy of international pursuit, you should have a startup experience. So with these words and with that objective, I would move to the next slide. But kindly keep my objective in mind. Help me to achieve my objective, because I will be coming, I will be meeting all of you, I will be trying my best to pursue you and persuade you and change your mind to make startups. The first slide which I'm going to talk about is Get Set Startup. So there are two terms which I want to introduce here. Some of you might be knowing about entrepreneurship, which is nothing but an ability that is to form your own enterprise, your own business, your own small, big, medium, any size of a commercial organization, wherein you either make a product or a service, then you sell that service or a product to a group of consumers, and you make wealth out of it, you make money out of it. So this is called as entrepreneurship. If you read some of the latest books which are published on startup or how to make startups, say some of them which are most popular, as there is something called as 0 to 1 by an author called Peter Thiel. So that is something which is international bestseller. I found another one which is called as How Do You Make a Startup in Just 48 Hours? And that book emphasizes on the worth of a time, on the value of time that you should have at your hand and disposal to make a startup. So what is this first term? It's not actually a very positive term. It's called entrepreneurship. So most of us, including myself, so when I thought of doing something new, I thought I should make my own business, my own setup. Most of the times I was thinking that, what if I do this new idea? What if I do this second great idea? What if go and do some sort of a website which will cater to a particular group of organizations? Like a few days ago, I was thinking that, can I host a Naukri.com for senior citizens in the country? Like people with age more than 60 and who are retired, can that expertise and experience be used by certain organizations? Because at that point of time, people are not really looking for a lot of money. They're looking for actually something to engage them. So can they be hired as a consultant? So I thought, can I make a website which is typically like a Naukri.com for senior citizens? But then I found that there are already some websites. So probably my thought got deviated because I found another website. So there are several reasons why people think of starting a business, but they don't start business actually. So all those feelings, all those emotions, all those procrastinations, all those lazy sort of thought processes come under this concept called as entrepreneurship. That we want to be an entrepreneur, but we do not take an action. So this is the first enemy. This is the first, a mental block that we will have to make over. We will have to come over that. Now, how do you come over that? We'll discuss it. But what is important here is why people get trapped into entrepreneurship. The first and biggest reason is that there is a fear of failure. What if I start a business and I don't succeed? Because business is not about just putting time and efforts. It is also about sometimes putting some amount of money, some amount of capital. Now, this money is either self-sponsored, that I put money from my own savings, or I borrow money from some other people. So there is a concept of investors. So there are people who invest in you, in your idea, in your business. So the biggest fear is that I may fail. My idea may not succeed. So this is one major reason why people don't go ahead. Second reason is they are very creative, and people are very creative. So they actually come up with number of ideas, and then it becomes difficult to kind of filter the ideas and choose one among them, because it is a problem of too many. It is a problem of too much. So how do you kind of cross these barriers? So for ideas, I have seen many times when there are young entrepreneurs who come and speak with us. So when we ask them that, what is your idea? What is your big idea? What is where, you want to bring it to the market? So the first kind of a, funny response that people give is, no, my idea is very secret and I'll not share that with you. Okay, that's fine, perfectly fine. There are ways in which you can protect your ideas in that case. You can take patents, you can, actually put some trade secrets around it and protect your idea. But in my opinion, in my humble opinion, the first thing that one should do is try and share that idea with as many people as you can. Just check with them. Do you think this will work? Do you think this will be a success? Do you think there is any consumer available for it, any customer available for it? And you will find that people who are not related, don't check with your parents, because they will always say, yes, this is a good idea, because they love you and they want you to be successful, and they never want to tell you that this will not work. But you should check with people who are kind of, your distant friends, not your immediate friends as well. You can check with some professionals. You can check with your professors. You can check with, say, a retailer. You can check with a restaurant owner. You can check with some artists. So what happens is these people give you a very genuine feedback and a genuine opinion that, yes, this will fly. No, this will not go. And now we will have to take that opinion with a very clear and open mind. We can't think that, no, why this person is telling me no, because I have a great idea. Your great ideas are great only when it is accepted by the consumers, only when it is accepted by the market. So these are, I'm just trying to tell you a small, simple tips by which you can come out of this particular jargon called as entrepreneurship and move on to entrepreneurship. So what is entrepreneurship? Again, it is nothing but to get up, to set your mind and start. So whatever may be your idea, if you have even 5% faith that you have a conviction, you have a passion to make it succeed, you should immediately action it. You should immediately action changes things. Because if you take an action, you will get a feedback. I'm telling you, if there are stories which are mentioned in those books, if you start reading those books, that people at the age of 16 have sold jams. They have sold homemade jams and made them international best brands. It was only because of the actions that they have taken. You will be surprised. I'm right now working with a particular startup in Bangalore, and normally startups is a game of people who are very young or people who have some extra money or a lot of savings. You might have heard that people who work for ex-IT companies like Microsoft or Infosys have now left those organizations and done a startup. People or students from IITs or institutes like yours have done some startups. But I have come across a startup in Bangalore which is done by a person who is of the age of 80. He already has an organization. It is being taken care by his son, daughter, and grandsons, and so on and so forth. But he is not willing to settle. He says, no, I should do something. So this startup is about making edible teacups, because he says there is a massive plastic pollution of, tea cups or coffee cups around Bangalore. He says, can we make a cup which is edible? And he has done it. It is already in the market. I can let you know more about that. But what I am actually surprised with, what I am, kind of charged by the passion that person has at the age of 80. I don't even know, because, some of us are, few of us, whether we will be so much active at that age. I even met him today afternoon, and I charged myself with the energy that he has. So look at this point, that there is nothing called as entrepreneurship, which is there with these people, and these people are directly entering, the zone of entrepreneurs. And very soon, with their passion and action, they will be able to build strong, sustainable businesses. Now you have decided, as I said, my objective, I will remind you once again, I want everybody from PIMS to have their own companies. So what is that you need first? So I'll quickly run through this list. Don't get upset that I have to do so many things. It's not like that. There is a help and support available for all of you at every stage. It will be available from your professors, from your colleges, from some of us. So if you need any support, I'll give you my contact details and numbers. You will be completely assisted, and don't worry about anything. So what do you need first? You need a good idea to start with. So in order to get one good idea, you need number of ideas. Start thinking as you walk, as you play, as you talk to your friends. Start generating some new concepts. Now, what are these ideas which are important? What are these ideas which can sell? So it's very simple. When you go to a shopping mall, when you go to any departmental store, or anyways you interact with people around you who are eventually going to be your customers, look what is selling the most. Look, there are two ways in which you can build a business. One is you can sell what you can make, or you can make what can sell. Normally, we prefer the second line, because what can sell, if we are able to make it, we will definitely build a good business. So a good idea is an idea around something which is needed the most. So typically, if you go to any locality in Bangalore, so say you walk down the streets of Malleshwaram, or you go to Brigade Road or Church Street or Koramangala or Indiranagar or Jayanagar, JP Nagar, anywhere you go, in a given setup of market, look at the shops, look at the products which people are actively buying, and then think about ideas and the problems that they are facing today. If you're able to solve that, you have a good idea which can make a market. But all that is impossible without your passion, without your go-getter attitude. Now, you can either do it as an individual, you can have a sole proprietorship organization, sole proprietorship business, or you can do it as a team. Now, what I mean by team, you can pick up like-minded friends from your college. You can also pick up some investors and make your team. Already there are startups looking for people who can be part of their teams. So it can be done as an individual, as a team. There is a good amount of collaboration that you have to do, because building a business, building a startup is about learning. You should have very high motivation. Most important here is a quick learning ability. Why I said most important? Because not that every startup that is done succeeds, not that every business makes a lot of money, because there are n number of chances that we may fail. We may not be able to get the success that we are expecting. So what do we get in return if we don't succeed? We get a lot of learning. And if you apply that learning in your next initiative, there is a chance that you will succeed much better. Your percentage success rate increases to a large extent. Therefore, ability to change from one business idea to another, one concept to another, and immediately adopting all the resources into that business makes you possibly a very good and a successful businessman. Now, the right side, what you can see is there are certain terms which I have written. These are not that every business requires these, but few of them definitely yes. So the first one is MSME registration, and thanks to Shri Narendra Modi ji's government, because they have made it possible for even a common man like me and you to open an organization. So MSME registration is now known as Udyam registration. So this is a website of the government of India, where with your bare minimum national identity cards like Aadhaar, PAN, and other details which are written on the website, if you need any support, I am available. You can form your own company in a span of about 72 hours. And this is recognized by the government of India. So it is like you have your own Aadhaar card, you have your own UADI registration. Same way, your business should have a Udyam Aadhaar or Udyam registration. Previously, this was known as Udyog Aadhaar. There is a very nominal fee that government charges, and then they give you a status of a MSME registration. This is the basic and easiest way to get MSME registration. Previous to this, those who want to open kind of shops or establishment, the factories, there is something called as the shop and establishment certification. This is also given at the state level. For that, you obviously need a support of a chartered accountant. So you need a good CA. When I say a good CA, because there are some CA firms which are very expensive. And at the beginning level of a startup company, we may not be able to spend so much. So a good CA is a CA which is, charges you optimum. So there is a full network available and you will get all the support. There is nothing to worry that how will I look for a CA? How will I do a GST registration if required? GST is, as you know, is a recently launched a new tax regime which kind of harmonizes the tax structure across the country, across the states. So GST registration is required only when your turnover of your business crosses certain limit. So previously the number was 20 lakhs. So don't worry about this now. But for the sake of completeness of information, I have added this here. You may need a knowledge partner. Who is a knowledge partner? Say you are from food technology, nutraceutical technology. And in case you require any support on what sort of regulations are there around these products or which regulatory approvals I need to take these products. For this, you may require a knowledge partner. Again, Bangalore is the startup capital of India. We have more than 20 to 25,000 not NGOs, I'm sorry, 20 to 25,000 startup companies in Bangalore. I also work with NGOs, by the way, for setting up them as, startup NGOs as we call, because there are a lot of people who don't have colleagues who can form NGOs. So that is why the term came in my speech as an NGO. Sorry for that. So also you may require a lawyer because if you have to draft some agreements or some sort of proprietorship deals or partnership deals have to be done. So nowadays with the online support available, getting a lawyer at an affordable cost is not a problem. If you are working on a technology project, if you are working on a food product, if you are working on some new package, a new material, new idea, and if you wish to protect it before it goes to market, intellectual property or patenting becomes an important part of your business. There are IP lawyers, there are patent I would say, support agencies available who help you in patenting. They do hand-holding from idea conception till the final patent grant and also maintain a patent. There are range of law firms available from a very basic level charges to very high level of support for big corporates. So as our organization, as your startup company grows, you can avail the support. Brand building support is also important because your brand is something that will be there in the minds of people. So digital marketing is the new wave, and using digital marketing, using your Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, you can reach millions of people. All these websites also give you a targeted marketing support. How to use them, all information can be made available for you. This is at a very low cost, or I would say at a very optimum investment. You can use these facilities. So these are some of the things, not all of them that you will require. Based on your product or service that you want to market, you can use all these facilities. But some of them are good to be done because they help, develop good credentials for the business. Imagine by your good luck and hard work, if you're able to attract some international customers, some international clients, then for the credentials of your own business, some of these certificates and registrations are of great value because they always look at the local standing. They always look at how strong this particular business is and how deeply rooted is this in the regulatory framework of a country. In that scenario, this is something which is very important. So I thought I should cover this in this particular slide. Moving on. Okay, now this slide is a bit complicated to you maybe, or if some of you have done some basic management learning, you already know this. But in my opinion, for anyone who is trying to set up a business, anyone who is thinking of doing any sort of a commercial activity, knowing these 5 elements of strategy or a corporate strategy or business strategy is very important. So however primitive, but I still want to introduce this concept to your mind because in last 21 years, any organization where I have worked, any different kind of a business which I have been part of, starting from foods to nutraceuticals to biopesticides to pharma products, entire set of businesses are governed by these laws, by these 5 or 4 basic things which will decide, which will determine the success that you are going to achieve. So what are these called as? So this is from a gentleman called Mike Porter, and these are very popularly known as 5 forces or Porter's 5 forces of corporate strategy. So first question which I can ask you, I don't know whether you can answer, but I'll answer it, is what is strategy? So strategy is nothing but a plan to win. So strategy is generally something that is decided in general stent in a war-like situation. So why am I referring to war? Is there any war going on? No. But if you look at the current international thinking of countries like Japan, countries like China, which are considered to be very aggressive in any business, they consider every business as war. So therefore, use of a term strategy or putting good and the right strategy in place before you get into any market is very important. So these are the 5 things which determine success in any business. So let me start one by one quickly, and then I'll finish this in next 5 to 10 minutes, and then I can take any questions, and I'll be very happy to do any sort of support, because I told you my objective. I want everyone to have a startup. It should be a model institute across the state and country, that every student who is from this institute has very successfully done startups, and thereby, building the nation and building the economy of the nation. So first and foremost, rivalry among existing competitors. So what is rivalry? So when you get into any business, say for example, we can take any number of examples. You think that mobile phones are very frequently being used by everyone. There was a time when people had one phone. Today, there are people who carry 2 phones minimum, or sometimes even more. Now, which means that mobile covers or mobile phone covers is probably need of the day. And then if you generate some very unique kind of mobile covers, you will be able to succeed. Because as I was mentioning to you today, when I walk in the markets, say in Yeshwanthpur or Malleshwaram or anywhere in the Bangalore or anywhere in India rather, in every market I'd see almost about 25 to 30% shops are only catering to mobile phones. And more than that percentage cater to mobile phone covers, because all of us want our phones to look attractive, our phones to look trendy, and therefore, buying these covers and protectors is very important. So that means there is a huge market that is available for mobile phone covers. Now imagine that you or any one of you starts a business of making phone covers which are made from, for example, natural materials, because currently even my phone, what I'm holding in my hand, there is a plastic cover or a rubber cover. So the moment you get into this industry, who is going to be having a rivalry with you? The current shops, the current suppliers of mobile phone covers. So imagine that they understand that there is someone from Padma Shri who has set up this business and who is selling in the market mobile phone covers which are made from natural materials and not from plastics. So the first reaction that can come from them is they can actually bring in similar product. They can also bring in natural materials. So this is how a competition will start between your business and their business. For them, you will be their competitor. And what is that you are going to bring in the market? You are going to bring in a market as something called as a new entrant. Because when they are selling mobile phone covers, which are made of plastic, which are made of hard, toughened materials, because the purpose of the mobile phone cover is to protect the phone in case of when it falls down on the ground or something like that. So for them, when you enter a market with a natural material containing mobile phone cover, you become a new entrant. Now, obviously, you are a threat to them because there might be some 100,000 or maybe more number of people who will buy these natural material made phone covers. And what will happen is their business will get compromised. Therefore, a concept of threat of new entrants is very important. So this concept is applicable for every business, every service in this world. Now, there is something called as a threat of a substitute. So I'll take you to another example. So there was a time when we used to type letters on typewriters. Okay. Nowadays, we don't even see typewriters in museum because, something called as Computer has come in. Now you have laptops, iPhones, you have iPads. So the concept or the market of typewriters has more or less vanished. You may still find typewriters in some of the court-related proceedings, but more or less everywhere now typewriters have been totally kind of, gone. It is not there in the market. It doesn't exist because a substitute of typewriters, which is nothing but computers and the keyboard which we use on the computers, has actually made typewriters obsolete. So any business that you eventually develop and get into, there is going to be a massive threat of substitutes from something else that will come and make it redundant. For example, there was a time when people used to carry, small handy cameras. When we want to take pictures, there was a fashion of small cameras, like, different companies like Nikon, Canon used to sell small size cameras. Today, none of us carry cameras because they have been substituted by the cameras which we have in our phones. Now you have iPhones with a very high density cameras, and therefore taking pictures is so easy. So this is a threat of substitute which was faced by the industry of typewriters. So when you set up your own business, when you think about any new idea, always keep these two things in mind. That is there any threat of substitute? Is there any other product which can be from your own category or it can be from some other category? It can substitute my product. It can basically replace my product, and the market that I'm generating or creating, it can be completely wiped off. There is something called as I said, threat of new entrants. There can be new products, new variants, new packages, new offers, new colors, new perfumes, new fragrances, which come in any given FMCG product or any product, which can again, they say, who moved my cheese? So can actually move away your cheese and you will not have it on your plate. So always keep these two things in mind when you conceptualize ideas for your startup. Then I'll go to these two concepts. When you make something, you always make it using different ingredients or materials. Say, for example, you're making a nutraceutical product. So you will need some basic raw materials. And these raw materials are available, obviously, from a class of people called suppliers. Now, what is the bargaining power of a supplier? Imagine you're buying a raw material which is very unique, which is not available with number of people. It is a brand in itself. And it is available, say it comes, for example, you choose herbs or plants which are there in the Himalayas, and you want to make a good nutraceutical out of it. It's a good idea, there is no problem. But the point is, because the source of this material is so limited, it is so unique, the people, the suppliers from that particular state, say Uttarakhand, for example, is going to give you those materials. They will always have a higher bargaining power. They will charge you more because they'll say that it is coming, we are getting it from Himalayas. It's very difficult to get the product. And there are many people, there are not many companies who are supplying it. So therefore, such kind of commodities, such kind of ingredients, such kind of raw materials are going to be always expensive. How does it matter for your business? If you buy expensive raw material, obviously your cost is going to be high. And if you sell it at much higher price, less and less number of people are going to buy, and thereby the success rate of your business will be less. Moreover, you may sell it at a lower price, but then your profits will be less. You will not be getting more money out of it. So bargaining power of suppliers is something very important. Hence, it is essential to have multiple suppliers available for any given ingredient or a raw material that you are going to use for your products. So you can bargain and you can move from one supplier to another supplier if you find that they're increasing the price. This is another concept. This is called as a bargaining power of a buyer. So just as you have seen in this case, you suppose you are supplying that plant from Himalaya, and you become a buyer and he becomes a supplier, and he has a higher bargaining power. This person has a less power. Same equation will apply here. So imagine you make a product which is having very unique properties, very high efficacy, and it is so good that everybody would like to buy it. In that case, you will have a higher you will have a higher power to charge the customer. But if customers have, again, number of people like you supplying the same product. So basically, if you enter a business area which is very common, which is commonly available, so you start making sandwiches. And if there is nothing unique in your product, then buyers will have higher power. And if you charge a sandwich for $100, they may go to another vendor, another supplier who charges it at 75. So therefore, they will have a higher power. So these four factors eventually decide success or failure of any particular business. Actually, this is applied in any business situation, however complex and complicated. But I thought it is essential for you to introduce yourself to these concepts. This is very important. Without this, no business can succeed today in the world, be it running in the United States or be it running in India in any particular state. So therefore, I thought I should say this and tell this to you. After this, I'm going to stop. I just want to give you my contact details in case you want to reach me. This is my number 7411004563, and this is my email address. Again, I want to remind all of you my objective. I want every one of you to be running a startup. I do help people, and it's not that I charge a lot of money. It's not like that. I do it more as a social cause, and there are a number of people with whom I'm working. So don't hesitate. You can reach us through your professors, or you can even reach us directly. End of the day, I am very happy to be of PIMS working with all of you. I'll stop here. I'll take questions if you have any. If I know the answer of question, I'll tell you straight. If I don't know the answer, I'll find out and get back to you. Because for me, interacting with all of you is also a great learning experience. So thank you so much. Wish you all the very best. Have a great evening ahead.
Thank you so much, sir, for delivering an effective talk by describing the startup companies, how to start, and giving all the details. Yeah, participants, if you have any questions, you can please ask sir, or you can type your queries in the text box. Any queries, please?
Sir is very busy, but he has come all the way, like he made himself free for us in spite of his busy schedule. So, I have one question.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, to start up, before that, they should have some experience of learning that particular whatever they are thinking, or it's good they can start with any.
So one thing, yeah, your point is right. There has to be some basic knowledge, some basic understanding of the area where they are getting into. So normally what we have found is, say for example, if a particular institute is into food and nutraceuticals, because they have an experience of a couple of years in that area, students generally prefer being in that area as well. Or they go to allied areas. Say for example, maybe a restaurant, which is a very different or a novel concept. Or kind of tie up hands with, see today you have companies like Zomato and Swiggy who can take your product to several people at any given point of time. So actually, if you ask me, with the internet revolution that we have, getting knowledge or information about any particular area is all about YouTube or all about Google. So at least about 50 to 60% of basic information can be obtained in a very short span of time. If somebody is more serious, these platforms like Coursera, EDX, Udemy. So these are the platforms where you have courses available on anything and everything. You take a topic and there will be at least about half a dozen courses from international faculty, Indian faculty. They are not expensive. On Udemy, you can complete a course of 4 weeks in about 400 rupees. So when people go out in a restaurant, 400 rupees is not even a basic amount that people pay and come out. So in single lunch or dinner price, we can have one international certification today. If you go on EDX, they have something called as an audit mode of course, where it is not necessary to pay a single rupee. It's a free of cost course. And you can go get certificates from institutes like MIT, Stanford, Oxford, the top institutes in the world. I must tell you, most of my learnings in recent past have come from these courses. There are some of the professors who are international bestsellers. Their books are sold in millions. They have converted those books into very small capsule courses, which can be finished in just about 2 weeks' time. And these professors are very decorated, very respectable professors like some of you from your college. And their knowledge is available free of cost. So today, learning and getting knowledge can't be an excuse. Anybody who is interested can get knowledge. The point is how much we are interested, how much we are charged, how much we are motivated. So that's the only thing. So when you said I am busy, so even if I don't have a certain thing to be done on a weekend, I definitely take up a course, put a target, and because nobody is going to teach you at this age and at such a great pace. So these are self. It's not that you have to sit for hours together. And I think if there is any need for anybody who is doing a startup, taking up such courses, so it doesn't matter, ma'am, if there are questions now, if they have any questions in any time in near future, you can send it to me by mail or you can connect me on WhatsApp. I'll be very happy to assist because all the times it happens, this topic is new and therefore, we may get some participants asking, sometimes they don't. The questions are in mind, but we don't know how to post it. So it's a beginning. And you have series of lectures, so I'm sure everybody will be benefited over a period of time. I am available anytime. I'll anyways keep visiting institute. So if none of them questions, I'll come up with a lot of questions and ask them. So my objective is I'm going to fulfill at any cost because this mandate is given to me, as you know very well, of mentoring and by someone very respected in the state of Karnataka, and I'll follow it. No doubt about that.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for answering ma'am's question also. On behalf of our college, sir, I thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation and delivering the talk. I also thank all the participants who actively participated and made this session successful. Tomorrow's schedule, yes, sir.
Sorry, ma'am. Sorry for interrupting you. Actually, your screen is smile is the beginning of peace.
Yes,
by the
sir.
mother. Prompted me to tell you one more thing. If it is possible,
yes, sir.
You can check on YouTube.
Yes,
there
sir.
is a documentary of about 25 to 27 minutes
yes,
by a gentleman called Dr. Gundappa Venkat V. Dr. V, as we call it, is on Arvinda Eye Hospital, which is in Madras. So this is one of the best documentaries that is being taught to us because I have done a sabbatical in IIM Bangalore, and just as now I am interacting with you, there was a professor called Professor Sheshadri, DVR Sheshadri, who had taken us the course on corporate entrepreneurship, and it started with that 27 minutes of documentary. So it is available. I will also check if possible. I'll share a link with ma'am. So in this program, if you can find time or anytime later, you can the students. This is on Arvinda Eye Hospital. and how Dr. V has made it, what sort of international recognitions he has obtained, how he started, what difficulties he has faced. And it is very inspiring. So therefore, I think once you can run it through the students, I wanted to, time is a constraint, but I'm sure you will be able to find an occasion when you can run it. So that's my suggestion. Sorry
Yes,
for
sir.
interrupting you.
It's okay, sir. No issues, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for referring that. Yes, sir. Dear participants,
Thank you.
let me inform the schedule for tomorrow. We have 2 sessions tomorrow. Morning 11:15 a.m. we have a talk on funding opportunities for entrepreneur by Dr. Prasanna Byahati, ma'am. And evening, the session starts at 5:30 p.m. The talk is on the tool for global development. We have entrepreneurship as a tool for global development. The talk will be delivered by Professor Manoj Kumar Mishra. Please do attend and get benefited by this web series. Indu ma'am?
Thank you. There is a feedback link in the chat box. Please give your valuable feedback. I
Yes.
think with this we can end the meeting. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, madam. Tumba thanks, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, madam.
Yes, sir.
Bye, ma'am.
Good night, everyone. Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
See you tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Can I end the meeting, ma'am?
Yes.